Have you ever imagined how this smallest country spread across 166 acres and with a population of about 1,000 people was able to practice undisputed political influence and power across the globe? Yes, you guessed it right, we are speaking about Vatican City. Putting aside conspiracy theories like alien connections, the treasures of the Templar, or famous abuse scandals, there are many absurd things still hidden from the world. Here are 10 secrets the Vatican doesn't want you to know. You will be amazed to hear that the Vatican has a multi-million-dollar budget and also a secretive history. With over 2,000-year history and secrecy over the years, the Catholic Pope and his pointy-hatted entourage have intriguing secrets that you would definitely want to know. The Vatican Secret Archives is arguably the most obvious place to look when looking at the secrets kept in Vatican City. Since the word itself conjures up a sense of mystery, several speculations have naturally developed about what may be stored within the 53 miles of shelves and 12 centuries worth of records that are only accessible to a select few. The word secret in the Latin title means private but not confidential. In reality, most of the archives are open to the public, and some are yet kept confidential, which creates speculations. The archives are not entirely available to the public. Only scholars who have undergone a stringent assessment process are permitted access. Not only that, until 2010, journalists were not permitted to view the archive's contents. Even for this small audience, papers in the archive are only made accessible for viewing after 75 years. Documents like Pope Pius XII's actions during the Holocaust and a few documents that have been made public. Yet the Church's numerous abuse scandals remain restricted from view. The Vatican claims that the reason is the difficulty to process the enormous volume of documents in the archives. Who knows how much of it is true? Although exorcism is thought to be a ritual mainly seen in horror films in the Middle Ages, the Catholic Church still practices it today. Father Gabriel Amorth was the Vatican's top exorcist not long ago. He stated that over his 60 years of service, he had carried out 160,000 exorcisms. However, the exorcism rite is not just performed by the late chief exorcist. Over the years, different popes have participated in it. Not only that, but 250 priests from across the world attended the Vatican's annual workshop in 2018, according to a report published by BBC. The Church claims that there has been an increase in demonic possessions recently. Even Pope Francis advised individuals to consult an exorcist without holding back when they feel spiritual disturbances. The Vatican Bank is now known as the Institutum Pro Operibus Religionis, which translates to Institute for the Works of Religion, or IOR. Since its inception in 1942, the main financial organization of the Catholic Church has been at the center of several scandals. The Vatican Bank became the best offshore bank in the world as a result of being immune from limitations that the Allies had put on financial operations during World War II. Since then, the Vatican Bank has gained a lot of notoriety for its ties to organized crime and its use of the Vatican's autonomy to evade the inspection of international banks. A priest was detained in 2013 for allegedly attempting to use the Vatican Bank to smuggle millions of euros for the mob in the 1970s. The Vatican is also said to have attempted to buy $900 million in fake bonds and securities from a mafia-connected organization. However, the fall of Banco Ambrosiano, an Italian bank in which the Vatican was the largest shareholder, and which it exploited to launder money for the mafia, is the most well-known of the Vatican mafia scandals. There have been ongoing efforts to restructure the Vatican Bank for several years. The Nazis were compelled to go for safety outside of Europe after the victory of the Allied forces in Germany that put an end to World War II. Nazis discovered Europe to be very unfriendly and started looking for safety abroad. South American nations, including Brazil, Chile, and Argentina, served as safe havens for thousands of high-ranking Nazi officers, many of whom were war criminals. These fugitives were able to leave Europe via so-called rat lines through Italy or Spain. The Vatican allegedly provided bogus identities and travel permits to Nazi fugitives, as claimed in a book by Harvard scholar Gerald Steinecker. The Vatican was implicated in assisting the smuggling of Nazi-confiscated art, golf, and other property belonging to Jewish families, in addition to assisting the escape of thousands of Nazis from Europe. Bernardino Nogara, one of the Nazi agents, is thought to have been the Vatican's financial advisor. He is thought to have implemented a proper scheme that let the Vatican invest cash in Italian insurance firms that held onto the assets from the life insurance policies of the dead Jewish families. The Vatican did not have to repay any of the money it gained from the plan, since they were only investors and not direct insurers. A scandal and subsequent cover-up involving some wasteful monks in the 1970s proved to be very costly for the Vatican in terms of both money and reputation. The Paulines, a Philadelphia-based monastic order, gathered millions of dollars for religious initiatives including celebrating Mass, erecting shrines, and remodeling cemeteries, but never carried out a single one of them. The vicar generally misused funds by maintaining a mistress and skimming 50% of the pay of friends he nominated to positions in the monastery. The Pauline managed to fail on more than $4 million in church bonds after taking over $20 million in contributions. The Pope and the Archbishop of Philadelphia intervened, giving the Paulines more than $5 million to appease their creditors and repay their illegal loans. And this way, they were able to escape litigation, bankruptcy, and criminal punishment. His Holiness, The Secret Papers of Benedict XVI was a book written by Italian journalist Gianluigi Nuzzi that was published in 2012. It contained private letters and other secret papers that had been given to Nuzzi by the then butler. This book provided a rare inside view into the Vatican's inner workings, including disclosures of mass corruption and proof that the Holy See is rife with resentment and backstabbing. VatiLeaks is the name given to this leak disaster. Stranger still, the Vatican's own inquiry into the disclosure of these documents revealed that a covert organization of gay prelates was being blackmailed by people outside the Vatican. A covert court known as the Apostolic Penitentiary looks into people's allegedly heinous offenses. It was allegedly discovered in 1179 and maintained a secret up until 2009. People summoned before this tribunal can only get absolution from the Pope. The attempted assassination of the Pope, a priest revealing a confessor's guilt or identity, and other similar offenses were included in these absolutions. The major penitentiary, headed by the Pope, has two options. It can either grant automatic excommunication or give absolution. There were many dedicated bishops of the extra-legal tribunal that were given the duty to investigate these vicious sins. According to the Vatican, such cases were to be held privately. They considered it to be a matter of conscience rather than a public concern. Vatican City is the subject of several mathematical oddities since it is the smallest nation in the world. The Vatican has the greatest rate of crime of any nation on Earth. This indicates that there are more crimes than in any other nation, not that there are more crimes there overall. The Vatican is of the supposedly holiest locations on Earth, but the crime rate is 20 times greater than that of Italy. For the ratio to turn into a rather outlandish statistical outlier, the overall number of offenses doesn't have to be all that high. While figures that are based on population clearly affect impressions of Vatican City's crime rate, they actually make matters worse in terms of how much wine is consumed there. The Vatican has the highest per capita wine consumption in the whole globe. In actuality, the typical Vatican citizen drinks 74 liters of wine annually, which is equal to 20 gallons. That is more than twice as much as the average for nations like Italy and France, thrice what the ordinary British person drinks, and more than 6 times what the average American drinks. Astonishing, right? These were the 10 secrets Vatican doesn't want you to know. How much of this did you know before watching this video? Let us know in the comments below. Thanks for watching the video. If you liked the video, check out other historical videos on our channel. Don't forget to click the bell icon so that you don't miss out on such interesting topics.